about having a leadership that is corrupt-free. And when we start from here, because we are the same people that are going to grow up to become the future ministers, the future president of... It is the academic board.
Okay, there's a follow-up. All right. And you have to mention 5 members of this board.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The Vice-Chancellor, Deans of faculties, Deans of schools, the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, and the Registrar.
Come again with the answers.
The answers are 1, Vice-Chancellor, 2, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, 3, Deans, 4, Provost. Thank you.
Okay, you are correct. Right, I'll move to the lady. Bridget, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. I have a very simple question for you. I don't expect you to get this wrong. So, what was UCC's ranking in Ghana, West Africa, Africa, and for global research influence according to the 2023 Times Higher Education University ranking?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The University of Cape Coast was ranked as the #1 university. Yes, please.
Did you hear my question? In Ghana, West Africa, Africa, and for global research influence.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The University of Cape Coast was ranked as the #1 university in terms of research in Ghana, West Africa.
I'll take it for the last time so that you understand what I'm saying. Okay. What was UCC's ranking in Ghana, West Africa, Africa, and for global research influence according to the 2023 Times Higher Education University rankings? So I'm needing 4 answers from you.
Please take it for the last time for me.
She's taking it 3 times. If you know, you know. If you don't know, let's make progress.
All right. So in Ghana, according to the 2023 Times Higher Education University ranking, University of Cape Coast was ranked #1. That's first. West Africa, first. Africa, 4th. And for global research, 24th.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Hello, Norman.
Yes, Chair.
So I'll start with you.
Thank you.
So earlier you apprised the panel on some of the policies that you hope to engage in should you be given the nod to serve. However, the Constitution requires that the President-elect, presents the policies that the board would be undertaking for their tenure of office within a stipulated number of days. Can you tell me the time frame or the time limit within which the President is supposed to make that presentation to the board after he or she has been inaugurated?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. After 21 days.
That's correct. Bridget, your question. So the Vice President is entitled to participate in parliamentary proceedings, even though they are not entitled to vote or hold an office in Parliament. However, the Constitution equally affords them the privilege to serve Parliament in a certain way. Per the SRC Constitution, you'll come across one other way. Can you tell me that one way that the Vice President can contribute to Parliament? Maybe serve somewhere or basically anything that you can think of. I'm trying to say that...
Restate it in a simpler form.
Okay. So the Vice President, despite not being able to vote in Parliament, has been afforded another opportunity to serve Parliament in a different way. Can you tell me the way that the Constitution stipulates that the Vice President can serve Parliament?
Can you stop writing, please?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The privilege is to be there as a member.
That aside, I already quoted that aside that privilege, can you think of another way the Constitution affords the Vice President the opportunity to serve Parliament.
Please, I'd like you to help me with that.
Do you know about the appointment committee?
Yes, please.
Do you know the vice president is supposed to be on the appointment committee?
Yes, please.
Okay. So that was the answer I was expecting.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Norman.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Okay. So this is my question for you. So the university, as a way of making revenue, do have three major streams that they get their revenue from. That's the student fees, we have the other charges, and we have IGF. Are you okay now? I want you to tell me the procedures that the student fees go through before it gets approved. Please, are you okay with the question?
Okay. Yes, please.
You are very clear with the question, right?
Yes, please. Thank you, Prof. Chair. First of all, the mandated committee in charge of discussing issues of fees is the Residence Committee, chaired by the Pro-Vice Chancellor. Discussions will first of all happen regarding student fees at the Residence Committee, and two, recommendations shall be made available to the Finance Committee. Mostly in the first quarter of each year, say March of each year, the university management then calls for proposals from the Director of Finance, of which issues of fees are brought to the notice of the Director. The Director, upon receiving, then makes recommendation through the Vice Chancellor to Council. When this fee gets to Council and is being deliberated upon and is approved, then it is then sent to the National Council for Tertiary Education per the Fees and Charges Act 983 for Parliament approval. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Bridget, please, this is my question for you. It is the mandate of the university to establish a central budget committee, which consists of the Vice Chancellor, the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Provost and Deans and Administrative Directors of heads of other budget management centers. Kindly give me two responsibilities of the Central Budget Committee.
Please, I'd like you to take it again for me.
I said that it is the mandate of the university to establish a central budget committee, which consists of the Vice Chancellor, the Pro-Vice Chancellor, the Provost, Deans and Directors of other budget management centers in the university. Give me two responsibilities of that committee, that budget committee, Central Budget Committee.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The Budget Committee prepares the university's budget as well as approves budgets. The committee are spending officers as well. Thank you.
So your answer is fair. So what I was looking for is the review and formulate financial plans based on the strategic plan of the university, then review revenue collection of the university, and allocate resources based on budget programs and sub-programs for the university. So your answer is fair. Thank you. This one's great.
To Norman. Hope you're great. Hope you're great.
Yes, please. Yourself.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, like, let me start from the lady. So, Bridget.
Yes, please.
There are a number of committees that is head by the Pro Vice Chancellor within the university campus. Can you please list 5 of them?
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Chair. We have the Library Committee, we have the Residence Committee, we have the Transport Committee, we have the Public Relations Committee, we have the University Health and Services Committee. Thank you.
All right, Library Committee is not part, so the answer is good. All right, Norman,
Yes,
can you
please.
tell me 3 jurisdictions of the Student Handbook? The Student Handbook.
Thank you, Prof. Chair.
Bridget, don't write. It's not your turn. You write only when it's your turn.
Thank you once again, Prof. Chair. The Student Handbook has jurisdiction which is applied to all junior members of the university. And these members include regular students, distance students, even students that are affiliated to the University of Cape Coast. And the jurisdictions are: 1, it applies to every student that is formally admitted into the university. So you can be admitted to the university, you may have not gone for lectures, you may have not had your registration. So for us, you are admitted to the university, the Student Handbook is applicable to you. Secondly, it is also applied to the student behaviors on campus, not only on campus, but also off campus, as well as any program that is being sponsored by the university or any event which the university sponsors. The behavior of students, they are subjected to the Student Handbook. Sometimes also within our university, we may have visitors or guests that do come around. When, for example, a student does something which puts the name of the university in disrepute, and it's against that visitor, the person will not have a good image about the university. That guest or visitor may write to the Dean of Students regarding the behavior of the said student. It is also applicable to the information or the behaviors of students online. In our era of technology, we have a lot of publications, sometimes without the approval of the Directorate of Public Affairs. Any that goes against that of the vision of the university, the Student Handbook is applicable to such students. Thank you.
All right, that's correct.
Norman.
Yes, Chair.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm well. Okay, so please listen to the question attentively, and this question is in 2 folds.
Okay.
All right, so now the first part of it is the purpose of continuity. The Student Handbook requires that the incumbent executive holds some meetings, some transitional meetings before the handing over ceremony. Now, my first question to you is, the people who are to facilitate these meetings are supposed to be from the incumbent executive officers and the incoming ones. So how many members each shall facilitate this meeting? And if so, what 3 purposes of the meeting can you give me? Give me just 3 purposes of the meeting.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. So that has to do with the transition phase after an election. And mostly, it is 3 executives from the current administration and 3 from the outgoing and the incoming, sorry. And the purpose of that meeting is to discuss the financial status of the SRC, where issues regarding the assets, the projects that the SRC has undertaken so far must be discussed. To an extent also, during that transition phase, it is imperative for the discussion of how to go about approval of subcommittees, because as an incoming executive, you should learn from the outgoing. So there is some form of understanding or deliberation to understand how to be able to approve committees and subcommittees. Then thirdly, there is discussion regarding administrative procedures. One may be having ideas about how to go about the processes, but an incumbent or an outgoing administration can help the incoming administration to understand the various administrative procedures within the SRC. Thank you.
That's a very good answer. Bridget. Okay. So, your question, Bridget. So, after voting, right, there's a specific number of days, or let me say a time frame, within which the incumbent executives are supposed to hand over to the incoming ones. So I want you to give me that number, and before they hand over, they are to prepare their notes, right, their documents, handover documents, and then it's supposed to be signed and approved by a specific individual. So the SRC local NUCs will prepare their handing over notes and documents, and the JCRC also prepare their handover notes and documents. So which 2 individuals are supposed to sign on these documents before they are approved? So in 2 votes, the first part is the duration, then the second part is the 2 people who are supposed to sign.
Thank you very much. The duration is 48 hours, and with those people who are supposed to sign, the executive and the hall master or hall is at the JCRC level.
So with the duration is 14 days. 14 days, and the SRC level, it's the Vice Chancellor. But for the JCRC level, you have it. So that's a fair answer.
Thank you.
Hello, Norman.
Yes, please.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, I'm good. Yourself?
I'm good. So, Norman, what is the name and the age of the newly elected president, known to be the youngest president of Senegal? What is the name and the age of the newly elected president, known to be the youngest president of Senegal?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. For the benefit of the pronunciation, I'm also quite good about it, and I think the name has escaped me. Kindly educate me on that. Okay.
Okay. So the name of the new elected president, known to be the youngest of Senegal, is Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Thank you.
Thank you. The name?
And the age is 44 years. Ms. Boahima Opoku.
Yes, please.
So it's a follow-up question to the first one. On what date was Bassirou Diomaye Faye, the president of Senegal, announced as the president of Senegal.
Please, it has skipped me.
Okay. So Bassirou Diomaye Faye was announced the president of Senegal on 25th of March 2024. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hello. Bridget, how are you?
Yes, please, I'm fine.
Norma, hope you are doing good too.
Yes, please.
Okay, so my first question goes to Bridget. So I'm reading from the student handbook,
Yes.
then you provide the answer. So listen. The Sexual Harassment Committee shall within 7 days of the close of hearing determine the alleged offender is culpable and make necessary recommendations to an authority. Okay, so after they have made their investigation and everything, they will make necessary recommendations to an authority. Who is this authority?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The Vice Chancellor.
That is correct. That's correct. Okay, so
Don't write. It's not your question.
no one.
Yes, please.
I'm also referring from the student handbook, so you listen attentively. In all matters of negotiation, the central administration accepts to meet only accredited representative of recognized group within the university. I'm taking it again. In all matters of negotiation, the central administration accepts to meet only accredited representative of recognized groups within the university. Now, the question, what is the significance of accreditation in the negotiation process between the university administration and then the representative of the recognized group? So what is the significance of the accreditation in the negotiation process between the central administration and then the representative of the recognized group?
Thank you. Every clubs, groups, or association are expected to be accredited by the Office of the Dean of Students. And by so, it gives them the legitimate will to operate within the university community. So the significance of having this accreditation is to, one, to be officially recognized as a club or institution or association within the university. And with regards to negotiation, per the readings, it indicates that when a group of people are to, for example, send a petition to the office of the Vice Chancellor, they are not supposed to do so by going to his residence. And if that is supposed to happen, they can meet the Vice Chancellor or the necessary officer at the central administration. When the group or club is accredited, the university can take the words of such group and the negotiation or the interaction that goes on, both parties are now bound by virtue of the club being a recognized association within the university. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very good. That's very good.
Team Norman. So this is to Norman.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want you to give me the general admission requirement for the following entry routes. I'm going to give you 2. So what are the general admission requirements for a post-senior high school candidate who completed WASI and wants to enter the University of Cape Coast. And the next one is a mature student, a candidate who wants to gain admission through mature student entrance exams.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. For the first question, the applicant can gain admission into the university through having the WAS certificate, and it is required for such applicant to have a grade ranging from, say, A1 to, say, C6. And that grade should amount to aggregate 36 or better. This computation of the aggregate must be reflective from 6 subjects, i.e. 3 core and 3 elective. The 3 core mostly are English language, core mathematics, and integrated science or social science, depending on the program the said applicant is applying for. And the 3 other electives are subjected to the program specific that the applicant is applying for. With a mature student, it is required that the applicant should be age 25 by the end of the year. Such applicants also, it is imperative for the applicant to apply with either O-level, A-level, or GCE. But in an instance where the applicant is not having such certificate, the university organizes a general entrance exams for the applicant. And depending on whether or not the applicant is able to pass or fall within the pass mark, then such students will be admitted into the university. Thank you.
Okay. So, with the WASI, you said social science instead of social studies. It's social studies, not social science.
All right, please. Thank you so much for the correction.
So, it was correct. Sorry, Miss Bridget, am I right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Miss Bridget, you have a sister who's in the school, then she's in level 200, then she's going to write her exams. You want to advise her to study hard to write the exam. So what requirements are you going to advise her to meet when she writes the level 200 exams, progressing into level 300? What requirements are needed before you can progress to level 300?
Is the question clear?
Yes, please. Thank you, Prof. Chair. I would advise her that she should get a minimum CGP of 1.0, and then she should be able to get 30 credits before she can proceed to level 300. Thank you.
Okay. That's correct. But why are you telling her to get minimum of 1.0? You don't want her to do all. Okay, so that's correct.
Tim Norman, please, this is a preamble. So listen attentively. What will happen to a level 100 student who fails? So this is your question.
Okay, please.
A university-wide course at the second receipt examination.
Thank you for the question. I believe that such students can be given the opportunity to progress to the next level, but this time around, say on probation. Thank you.
Please come again.
When a student fails a university-wide course on a second attempt, that student will be given the opportunity to progress to the next level, but on probation.
Is that all?
Also, such student is likely to be withdrawn from the university if the academic performance, sorry, let me take it once again. Prof. Chair, I believe that one that have failed on a second attempt, which is a university-wide course, should be given the opportunity to progress to the next level, but this time around on probation. I'll leave my answer to that effect. Thank you.
That's a good answer. Same preamble. Ms. Bridget, any of the courses called to his or her, okay, the person failed, any of the courses called to his or her program of study. Do you understand the question?
No, please.
Okay, let me. What will happen to a level 100 student who fails any course called to his or her program of study at the second receipt examination?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. Such a student shall be withdrawn from the school.
That's right.
Miss Bridget.
Yes, please.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay. So please, my question to you. It's a riddle.
Okay, please.
It demands just one answer. I am the Deputy Minister of Finance. Who am I currently? Please, did you get the question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please, I'd like you to help me with the answer.
Okay, so currently the Deputy Minister of Finance is in the person of Dr. Stephen Amwa.
Thank you.
And now to you, Norman.
Yes, please.
I have two questions for you. So the first one, who is the current Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Authority?
Thank you. Honorable Dr. Okoboy.
Come again.
Honorable Dr. Okoboy.
That's wrong. So Dr. Okoboy is currently the health minister and the immediate past chief executive officer of the National Health Insurance Authority. But the current chief executive officer of the National Health Insurance Authority is Dr. Dacosta Abwaje. So that was the first one. I said two.
I think it's okay. He had it wrong. So let him rest.
Okay.
Norman and Bridget.
Yes, my chair.
The whispering is becoming too much. They are on the hot seat. So you should be praying in your head, not on your mouth, please.
Is the seat actually hot? Is it hot?
We are managing.
That's not the answer. Is it hot?
A little bit.
A little bit hot.
Yeah.
Sip some water, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
When I'm going, then I take it along. Yeah.
Bridget, are you okay?
Yes, please.
Because your president says it's okay, you also want to say it's okay. Mm? All right. Norman.
Yes.
I was looking at your CV and I was so impressed with education. So you have certificate in mental health, University of Newcastle, Australia. You have Bachelor of Science in Medical Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. You have Masters of Public Health, GIMPA, Masters of Business Administration, WENEBA, and you are doing Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, UCC.
Yes, please.
Are you not tired of schooling?
No, Prof. Vice Chair. I even want to add law after I'm done with my PhD.
I was going to suggest that to you, actually. So I'm sure after this you want to do law.
And I'll be doing my PhD. Then after
after your
law,
PhD,
yeah.
then you come back to law.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. What do you want to become one day?
President of Ghana before the year 2050.
You want to become the president of Ghana?
Of Ghana before the year 2050.
So you are preparing yourself, graduate, to become the president of Ghana?
Yes, please. And I'll be proud. God will bless you with long life that you witness that day.
I will attend the...
Amen.
Okay, that's good. So what qualities should the SRC president have?
Thank you, Prof. Vice Chair. Chair, please, I wish to address you as Prof. I hope it's okay.
Address the chair.
Okay, please. All right, thank you. Thank you, Prof. Chair. The SRC president must be one that is accountable to the people that he serves. The SRC president must be one that is, to say, have integrity. At the same time, should have a sense of responsibility and commitment to the people. At the same time also, an SRC president should be truthful to his words when outlaid to the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I was looking at the qualities you have, and I think that you have priced yourself out of the contest because you see the SRC president to have integrity, and you have mentioned all of them. But I was going through how you describe yourself, the qualities you have. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't see any of them in the qualities that you have mentioned.
Yes, Prof. Chair. And the qualities are many.
So it means you don't have the qualities to become the SRC president?
No, please. No, please. The qualities are enormous, but I just have to limit it to.
But at least, these are the top ones you can see or you perceive. Yeah. And even the top one, according to you, are not here in how you describe yourself. So if we want to put you in hierarchy, it means if we want to consider those who can become SRC president, you should be at the bottom by your own criteria.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. I'll look at it.
Okay. Earlier on, you were talking about your vision, and you said you had a lot of them. Can you give us just 2 flagship programs that, when you come, 2 of them, just the 2 first ones, because you cannot do everything.
Okay. That is very true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. 1 has to do with the introduction of SRC emergency 24/7 services to students that are sick. 2.
24/7 emergency what?
Transport service.
But I thought that was shut down because your premise was that when students are sick and deep in the night, they will have to attend to the hospital. Yes, but okay. I thought the discussion was hard on this.
Okay, so let me mention other ones.
So this one, you are no longer going to pursue it, right?
We are going to pursue that with the help of the students. Thank you, Prof. Chair.
Oh.
We are going to introduce road test policy.
Road
test policy.
What does that mean?
Reach out to every student train. The train here has to do with every problem students are facing on campus. Whether it's an issue of an IC, whether it's an issue of accommodation, whether it's an issue of health, whether it's an issue of not knowing the right channel to pass when you have a problem as a student. A subcommittee or ad hoc committee will be set aside with the help of other executives that we will reach out to every student that their problems that they do have on daily basis will be addressed by the SRC. As we speak, in our lecture theaters, we have certain chairs that are in bad state. We have air conditions not working. We have the fans not working. When you even go to SWLT, which is popularly known as Shatawale, when it is raining, we find ourselves in a rainy season. Students have to even...
So what exactly are you going to do?
We are going to introduce or establish mini bus terminals at the various stretch of Shatawale as well as NLT.
And I get that is also going to be doing.
Don't use Shatawale here.
Okay.
That is not the
And I guess that is also going to be 24/7.
It will be available at all times.
24/7. So are you going to run 24-hour economy in the university as well?
Not to say that, Prof. Chair.
And have you counted the costs of all these things that you said you would do?
Yes, please. Thank you, Prof. Chair. When we outlaid these policies, we first of all did some monitoring and evaluation to ascertain whether or not, when we are being given the nod to serve as the SRC president, respectively the vice, we can be able to achieve that. We pay dues. The SRC can also generate funds through other means, of which we believe that our projects or the objectives we have are measurable enough for us to be able to achieve it with our current status of our finances. Thank you.
Okay, so I was asking you that because we didn't want a situation where you would campaign with a certain message, you come into office only to realize that SRC doesn't have enough funds to support your program.
That is very true.
And so before you even come out with a program, you should be very sure that what you are proposing, SRC has enough money. You are talking about buses, right? How many buses are you going to procure?
We are not going to procure buses with the 24/7 emergency services.
24-hour economy transport services, okay.
The service, what we are going to do is that we are going to partner with the private boat services on campus or around campus.
Okay.
We also have the SRC minibus that will also be available to also aid in this particular
Let me
policy.
ask you this question. In fact, the interaction I'm trying to have with you is to help me know your leadership skills.
Yes, please.
And then also, as a leader, you should have some idea about economic literacy. Okay? So you cannot be a leader of SRC and you are totally zero when it comes to economic issues. At least, I'm not asking you to be an economist, but the little ones, to appreciate any discourse, you should be able to have that. And also, the ability to think on your feet.
Yeah.
I mean, as a leader, situations arise and you should be able to take decisions very quick and precise.
Yeah.
So that's the interaction I'm having with you.
Thank
so
you.
if you are not so sure of the question, ask me and let me repeat the question. Okay.
All right.
Would you support any upward adjustment in fees for students?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. This is a very dicey question, I must say.
I know.
Prof. Chair, we students in our current dispensation and even the economic status of the country, it is not easy to even have a 3-square meal. We have students that they even find it very difficult to pay their fees. Prof. Chair, in recent time, the SRC has to undertake for some students to even register. I would not. But if the need be that as an executive, collectively, at the General Assembly, at the parliamentary board of the SRC, having conversation, having a roundtable discussion for the need for a little adjustment of fees, that is going to benefit the interests of students. Why not? We will agree to that. But we'll make sure that the welfare, the well-being of students will also be achieved. Because the state of our lecture theatres, CAC, for example, sometimes is very bad, to speak of it. So if the university will take up the mandate to be able to address the various issues we have on campus, that students' academic life will be the best, just as we are the best in the country. Why not? Thank you so much.
Good. So at least there is some hope that you can support adjustment. You know, you are raising some important issues, classrooms and other facilities. And you know that these things take money. So if you say that you are not going to support, what money should be used to do some of these things? Okay? So if it happens that you have to convince students why there is a need for upward adjustment, what will you tell the students?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. First of all, the fee schedule for students, there are various components. I'll make that fee schedule available to all students. And the reason to which the proposed readjustment must be made. If it sounds good in the ears of student leaders at the General Assembly, at the Parliamentary Board, even at the JCLC level, we'll throw a discussion for students to bring up their suggestion. Most of them probably may go for the fact that it will not be good for our fees to be increased. But as a student leader, or given the opportunity to serve as the SRC president, if the reasons that management is giving us is going to benefit students directly, I'll be able to discuss with my executive committee or council for them to see the necessary need for the adjustment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Norman, how would you ensure that SRC budget is actually inclusive?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. Prof. Chair, kindly take it again for me.
You can give me 4 strategies or 4 measures that you put in place to ensure that the budget of SRC reflects the needs and the priorities of students, all students.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. One of the strategic moves that I would recommend has to do with needs assessment. For a budget to be reflective of the needs of students, first of all, we need to understand the peculiar needs of the students. One may be having a need of finances, one may be having a need of accommodation, one may be having a need of security. Understanding the comprehensiveness of these can make myself, as the SRC president, when given opportunity, to be able to take the necessary measures that the treasurer, in preparing his budget, will be reflective enough of the needs of students. Secondly, it will be one that is going to be transparent. Transparency is pivotal in accountability. And with this transparency, we would ensure that budgets will not be only prepared in the SRC office or in the office of, or in the rooms of the treasurer, but will be made available to Parliament for deliberations. With this deliberation, we are going to sensitize the student to come for that particular discussion for them to understand each component of the budget. As such, when even a student not part of the parliamentary board can make an input to the presentation of the budget. The third point to ensure would be that to every figure that is being highlighted in the budget must be one which is reflective of the market share. It will not be a price or an amount which is being adjusted to suit particular group of people. Just in some submissions of the Prof. Chair indicated that this is the time for us to look at issues of corruption. So the various figures within the budget must be reflective of that of the market share. The last point to be able to ensure that would have to do with monitoring and evaluation. In every organization, in every institution, without having a standardized criteria to measure the outcomes of a project or a policy, sometimes whilst the project is ongoing, or even when the project begins, at the end of it, there should be some monitoring and evaluation or some form of quality assurance to ensure that it is reflective. Thank you, Prof. Chair.
All right, thank you. Maybe my last question to you. You have heard about fiscal policy. You listen to budget statement, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you have heard about fiscal policy because that's a common economic jargon. What do you understand by fiscal policy?
Prof. Chair, thank you for the question. With this, I would like you to enlighten me more. Even though I've done accounting, I've forgotten, so I'll be grateful if you enlighten me more.
Okay, all right. I was going to... Okay, so that's your assignment. I would like you to...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, sure.
So it's an assignment I'm giving you.
Sure.
You will have to look at that before, because I had two economic questions for you. And the first one was this. The second one was how you think that is going to impact students' life. Unfortunately, you don't even understand the concept.
Yeah. So I'm going to add it to my
And
assignment.
I expect you as a leader, a student leader, a matter, to abreast yourself with some of these macroeconomic issues and how they are going to impact on the people that you seek to lead.
That is true.
So please try and do that.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. I agree to it.
Okay. Vice Chair, let me ask you some few questions. I have seen that you read BA Home Economics.
Yes, please.
Okay. How is that program relevant for the position that you are aspiring to?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. It's true, I'm reading Bachelor of Education, Home Economics, and its relevance in relation to my position as the SRC Vice President, hopefully. Home economics is a broad subject that we learn in all fields. Briefly, I would like to talk about one aspect which has to do with entrepreneurship and training skills. As a home economics student, I have skills. I know food products that I can really prepare well. We really focus on entrepreneurship too, looking at the country's economy and the need to focus on vocational and technical education, which my program, Home Economics, fall under. As someone reading such a program, I see the relevance and the need to encourage economic growth, as well as having the position and having the platform to organize programs for students as well. I'll be able to center in entrepreneurship while I bring people on board to teach them as well. And then with home economics...
Last one. That's the last one. I can see that's a comfort zone. So.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. With home economics as a program, I said earlier, we are not restricted to a particular area. We learn all fields, from housing to economics to family management. So as a leader, when I encounter such situations, in terms of peer relationship, in terms of other issues, I'll be able to handle it per my idea for my classroom.
Okay, thank you. So what is the process of having SRC budget approved? Can you walk us through?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. First, once the SRC budget is being prepared, first, as executive committee, they would have to sit. Everybody would bring their budget, and they would have to deliberate on it among themselves. Once they agree on what they want to do as executive council, that they will be doing throughout the academic year, they would have to send it to the executive council, and then they would have to read it at the parliament board for approval before it will be approved as the budget for the SRC. And then the budget too should go to the Dean of Students as well, for the Dean to go through before approval as well. Thank you.
My last question. I'm giving you some conflict. You know, conflicts do arise in a normal activity, okay? So being a leader, you are likely to face some conflicts. So I would like to ask you how you wish to resolve the conflict in the following circumstances. For example, if there is conflict over different leadership style, you have your leadership style, he has his leadership style. How are you going to, what is the conflict that is likely to arise, and how are you going to resolve that conflict?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. As leaders coming from different backgrounds, yes, it is likely that we might have our differences. But then as a leader and solving such a conflict, this is what I would do. I would first address the need for us all to see our goal. So as leaders, what do we want to attain at the end of the day? Is it just our interest or the interest of the people? And as a team, we have a goal that we are working towards to. So whatever decision we would have to take should be in alignment with the goal we want to achieve at the end of the day. So it's not like anybody's idea won't be tolerated or is not the best. But then we will assess, then we all agree and choose the better way that we know that when we go, at the end of the day, we'll be able to achieve the goal of the team and not individualistic ideas.
All right, thank you.
Bridget.
Mommy.
I didn't know you liked your course that much.
Yes, I love my program.
In your program, do you cook?
Yes, please, we cook.
But cooking is not your hobby. You don't like the cooking aspect? Sort of. No, because I was surprised. I thought I would see cooking, but it was not there.
No worry. I like it, but then I prefer the reading and organize the program. The main motive behind the conference was that as Vice President, I realized that frequently I had issues, affiliate reporting issues to me in terms of personal relationships and among roommates, how adaptability, because they just came to the environment and to them, they didn't see the need they should social. Maybe they knew, but then how to go about their thing was actually a problem for them. So as part of our program, we organize this as a form of orientation from the ladies' wing to them, so that they will learn how to build social connections once they are here, to see the need to associate with positive group of people and the kind of connections the environment they associate themselves with right here, how it will affect them in the future, and most importantly, how they can go about their academics. Yes, please. Thank you.
One of the major problems on campus is indecent dressing.
The use of contraceptives. I wouldn't go for that one, because in as much as these people are using it right now, the consequences they are going to face, which even is my biggest problem, is the ladies who are going to face the consequences at the end of the day. So for me, as a sister, I would advise them that the use of contraceptives isn't the best option. They should do abstinence. Yes, please.
Wait. Do you want me to disqualify your candidate? Keep your age to yourself. Which leader inspires you and why?
Thank you very much, Prof. Chair.